So, good evening, everyone, supporters. I appreciate you guys. I had some thoughts that I wanted to share about some pictures that I went ahead and collected today because I came across a image that was talking about how Aquaman, how it's grossed 1 billion. It's officially hit the billion mark, and how it's basically caught up to The Dark Knight and Batman, that extremely popular movie. So it got me thinking about when I watched Aquaman and all the things that I saw when I watched that film, which was theatrically, it was a really, really great film as far as like cinematography goes, and actually watching a presentation of art. These movies are art; they're art pieces. But it also got me thinking about Jason Momoa and how everyone is, all the women at least, are kind of obsessed with him. He seems to be this, strong, strapping man who's just like, got everything going on, right? So, you know me, I'm always thinking about the alternative side of things, right? And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I know that 99.99999% of all celebrities, politicians, anybody who is a part of the bloodlines, who is a part of a quote unquote Illuminati, all of this, these people they all want to be and want their children to be and want their grandchildren to be both sexes. They all want to be bisexual. I guess maybe I'm going to start referring to them as bisexuals maybe instead of transgenders, even though in my eyes it's the same thing, really is. So anyways, let's talk about Jason and Amber Heard while we're at it, okay? And a few other celebrities who are also in the superhero realm. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you right now, the first thing that I see is rounded shoulders, and they appear broad, but they're pretty much in line with the edge of his thigh. So if you're picturing a straight line from his shoulder down to his thigh, it's pretty much even. So his shoulders aren't wider than his thighs. He has a hourglass figure. If you're noticing he's a little turned, his angle's a little turned, but of course they're going to position him the way that they see fit, okay? So there's always poses and different things that these people do to either hide or exemplify, exaggerate one part of the body. So anyways, I'm seeing hips, I'm seeing wide, thick thighs, I'm seeing rounded shoulders. This is what I'm seeing. Okay, so obviously he's got on a bodysuit, kind of hard to actually see his real body. So let's move on to Amber, because for some reason, the men who've transitioned into women are a little bit easier to figure out, because women that are transitioned into men tend to have this bulk on them. They all become bodybuilders. The small men who don't have as much, they don't seem to be bodybuilders. You can see the delicacy within their frames, which I will show you. But for right now, we're focusing on these big, bulky guys, okay? So basically, it's easier for women to obtain fat onto their bodies, obviously. We all know this, as if you know women, any woman in your life, she probably has some fat on her that she doesn't like. And that's because we've been told as a society that it's wrong for women to be fat. So they put women like Amber Heard in your face, and they say, this is a gorgeous woman, and she's got, 0% body fat. She's got very little curve to her, but she's got beautiful features, you know. So one thing that I'm going to pull from this one photo is the fact that I chose this picture because of her jaw. Notice the squareness of her face. If you go from forehead to jawline, right there below the ear, her right ear that we're seeing, left if you're looking at it straight on, but notice how wide set that jaw is. It's almost, it's wider than her neck. Her neck probably has been photoshopped, but she does have a very, very protruding trachea, which is that part of your neck that sticks out if you're a man. She's also got very defined clavicle bones. Also her teeth. She has a very large mouth, very large set of teeth, and when she smiles, you can see it. She's got deep, wide-set eyes and a pretty defined brow area that protrudes over her actual eyes, okay? So, obviously, plastic surgery is a thing, you know, that they all do. They have to do if they're going to transition, as well as take hormones and all of that. But the main thing is the plastic surgery. So, that's what we're seeing for Amber Heard. So, let's move on. So, here's the photo that I snapped for, I screenshotted, just to give us an idea of how much money these movies make and why they would put so much time and effort into creating exactly what they want to show us. Exactly what they want. I mean, they take years to make these movies. You don't think they're going to perfect everything in them as far as what they put subliminally? Sorry. Again, you can see Jason Momoa's hourglass figure and Wonder Woman's strong jawline. So this is Jason in the flesh. This is him without a bodysuit. You can see that he's got a curve right there. I wish I had a pointer I could use. His backside. The curve from his back down to his butt. That's very curvy. That's unlike most men that I see on a day-to-day basis. Most men I see don't have this curvation that you're seeing with these male celebrities. And it's not just Jason Momoa. It's so many more of them. So here's the one photo that we all see all the time. It's him being super buff, being super tatted up, which there's nothing wrong with tattoos. Don't get me wrong. Not that these are real, you know, obviously, I mean. But they do this to hide what they don't want you to see or try and make their bodies look a certain way, okay? Also, too, he's got the beard and the long hair, so that's also going to hide features that they really would prefer you not focus on. They want you focusing on his masculinity, okay? All of these celebrities that transition from female to male, they all have this hunch to them, this they lean forward to, I'm not sure if it's to hide something or if it's some sort of pressure point or what it is, but they all tend to do this slouch. The shortness of his arms is, what is that, his forearm? Yeah. There's just certain body features that you can look at and you can tell that someone's been transitioned because they all have it. They all have the same features. Again, they try and really tone it down, but his hips are protruding out. They're protruding out. And they're very, he's very curvaceous. This is the same photo, I'm sorry. This is another one of him pulling out of the water. I don't know, I just didn't, he doesn't strike me as masculine. Here too, we can see that one thing I'll tell you is that what I'm learning is that they do implants for these people. It's not a crazy thing. It's, something that is very easy to do, but if you're a surgeon. But basically, they put I don't know what they put, I assume plastic, in their forehead where their eyes are, right above their eyes, their brow bone, because they want it to appear bulgy, like a man's. Even though females don't really have that, we have more of a flat forehead. It just kind of it doesn't protrude outwards. You see all these women celebrities with these huge heads and these protruding foreheads and bulging, foreheads, and there's a reason for that. So that got me thinking about some other celebrities who I find very feminine, I find very delicate, I find very attractive in a certain way. And Chris Pratt is one of them. His delicate lips, which I think they have surgery done to their lips as well. But he's got very little delicate lips and very close set, intriguing eyes. He doesn't have a distinct, if you look at his eyebrows are kind of bushy, but they're not protruding out that far. They're pretty he's trying to make them appear that they're, there's something there. He's trying to do some sort of, scrunch face, but it's not really working. He's still appearing feminine. Which it's so hard for me, learning about this stuff, because I love so many of these celebrities, as people, as characters, as actors, as, I don't know they're who they really are, but I know the art they create, Here's Amber's really, really bulging neck. If you'll notice too, these lines that are on her neck, these two lines, I'm under the impression that maybe they add some sort of fat layer to their necks to try and tone down the Adam's apples that would be bulging otherwise. That's my theory. I don't know. I can't confirm that yet. Haven't studied it enough. But, and also her jawline is very square. It's a square. Her jaw is square. Square jaw. Big hair hiding the huge head. Okay. So here's another one that I got of him out of the water. Again, very curvy, very feminine. Oops. This is not liking me today. This one I thought was kind of funny. I don't know. I take things just because they're funny sometimes. So here's one of him actually appearing not so bulky. Look at this. Not so bulky. Looks very tiny, delicate frame. Hand on his hip. It's hard to know what to say sometimes with these people. I can't think of this person's name right now, but I know him oh so well from his films. Other than Insidious. He too has very close set eyes, probably has a brow implant. One thing I'm learning is that when these women who transition take testosterone, it enlarges certain parts of their bodies. It makes it grow faster, such as the ears. Look how far his ears go down. Looks kind of off. His mouth is very small. He's got a very narrow face. That's what they want. They want to make these men appear men and not delicate and feminine as they are. They did a good job on his chest. I think that's one reason that we like him so much, is because he looks masculine, right? Again, curvy hips. You can really see the hip bone here. They try to hide it, but you can't hide that. That's just too... Just focus on that. Just look at that. Cut out the chest. Just look at his hips. He's so hippie. Okay, here is Amber Heard's legs. Oh. Sorry, but that's not feminine. Look at her huge feet. Look at that. She's supposed to be this tiny girl, woman. Look at those long thighs. Long thighs. My gosh. Okay, this is what I wanted to point out. Is this calf muscle. You see how high that is? That bulge, where it bulges, the calf muscle? It doesn't go all the way down to her calf like it would if she was female. Born female. God, the feet are huge. Huge feet. These are male features, guys. Male features. Okay? So, sorry to burst your bubble. I know she's very pretty. I've always liked her. I've liked her since she was Angie in Pineapple Express. Chris Helmsworth, my God, man. This picture really just threw me to a whole nother level of crazy. So hourglass, it's almost like it's photoshopped. I mean, it's scary how hourglass that is. It looks very absurd on him. Just because we know him as this giant manly guy. I mean, I've had a crush on him, you know. He's freaking Thor. But check out how tiny his shoulders are and how weird his chest looks. Very, very weird chest. I'm sorry, but if you can't see that, I'm not the one who's crazy then. Okay? Very small shoulders. Looks very awkward picture that they took. Whoever took these. Here's a better one. Look at the little arms. Look at the little arms. They all have little hands too. That's why everyone makes fun of Donald Trump because he's got little hands. It's because he's a woman. More hips. Thigh gap. And there's Amber Heard's thigh gap. It's where they remove they probably remove their genitalia when they're born, but that's the result of not having genitals, or you're supposed to have genitals. What I noticed here was how flat her thighs are. They're on the sides, where it would be curvy and very hipply. There's nothing there. It's so straight down from her waist to her thighs. Very straight. And I love that she's got a shirt that says feminist. Yeah. You're a feminist, all right. You're trying to be, Amber. You're really trying. Here again with the calf muscle. Look at that. How can you, we're so conditioned to just believe that this is a woman. It's so clearly not. Look at this calf muscle. Look at it. Do you see that as being a thick thigh? I mean, a thick calf? No, you don't. It's extremely thin. That's a reason. It's because it's male. Males don't have that thick legs naturally. Okay? So, there she is. That's her. Quote unquote her. I still refer to them as the gender that they display because it's so easy to, because of the makeup and the hair and the clothes and everything is just tailored to them. Had me thinking of other celebrities who you want to say, I wish it wasn't so, but it is. I like Riverdale. It's a good show. Here's a good one of some hips. They're telling us this is male, but it's not. I'm going to call them bubble shoulders because that's how they appear to me. They appear bubbly. They're not, the clavicle doesn't go all the way to the shoulder like it would in a male's, like it does at all these female celebrities. They get these bubble shoulders because they work out and they try to get them all buffed up. So you think that their shoulders are wide, but they're not. They're just bubbly. I saved this one because I thought it was funny that she's over here doing the Moloch horns. People in the crowd are doing it apparently too. But these people around her, these are females and she is the male. She's the dominant. She's standing in the middle. Her shoulders are wider than her hips. Look how flat her thighs are. The guys' thighs are all thick. They all have little hands. She's got these big hands. It's a lot to take in, and I can appreciate that. But I've also been looking at this for a while now, and it's just more and more clear every time I see something. This photo I went ahead and posted on my page because of the way how it's just struck me, I guess, that she's the one with the microphone. She's the one talking at this time. They're all focused on her. And I guess it got me thinking about male privilege. Oddly enough, I know that's a weird topic for this kind of stuff, but it got me thinking about male privilege and how, as, you know, they're women, but they're not. They're males, and we still give them all the focus, even though most people don't know they're males. But I do. So I see things from a different perspective. But Jason Momoa is off to the side there, off to the right-hand side. He's the tallest one. All these delicate women around him. Yeah. It's a lot. It is a lot. But let's find a stopping point. This will be our stopping point, okay? Amber, they put these costumes on them with these large shoulder pieces, shoulder pads, shoulder everything to hide the actual shoulders, because they don't want you to see that their shoulders are wider than their hips. Mind you, in Aquaman she has padding, but I'll show you that in a little bit. She probably has padding here too, because she appears to maybe have some sort of curve-ish thing going on, but it's not real. It's not real. Okay, yeah, I'm sure you've had enough of me talking, so thanks, guys.